Welcome to the Somerset Roundtable. I am Virgil Pacheco and I'm joined with my co-host Holly McNamara. Our show is a spin-off to the Positively Somerset Facebook page. The intent of our show is to communicate, inform, and highlight all things happening in town, as well as discuss local events, issues, and allow citizens, business owners, nonprofits, and town department heads to have a voice. Now I'm going to hand this off to my co-host Holly to introduce the show and our guest.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. With us today we have Mike Miato and Ethan Lazaro here from the David Moraes Music Foundation. They're putting on a bike run, their annual bike run coming up here shortly. They do several other things, including giving out scholarships to SBRHS and middle school students, and also donate instruments to high school and middle school students as well. So tell me a little bit about the foundation and how it started.
Back in 2009 when Dave passed away, we wanted to have a bike run in his name and raise some money, but at that time we didn't know what we were going to do with the money. So once we got done with the bike run and had this money, somebody said, hey, we should check with the schools and see if they need an instrument. Maybe we can buy something to help out the school. And so we contacted the school and found out that they needed a marimba, which I didn't know what it was until.
What is it?
It's Ethan.
It's almost like a xylophone except bigger.
Yeah, it has all these tubes that amplify what it does. So if you know what a xylophone is, it's basically like that. That was $3,000.
So that was your first instrument donated?
Yes. And then we went to the school after it was delivered and did a little presentation at the auditorium in front of some of the music students and some parents that were there. Everybody that was involved went at that time. And then the next year we said, hey, maybe we should do this again, see if we can help out. So then in 2010 we had another bike run. And this time we kind of asked them to give us a list of some stuff that the school needs so we could be getting the right instruments for what they needed. A few years down the road, maybe I think the next year was when one of the board members said, what about the elementary school, middle school, where they start to teach the fundamentals of music? Maybe they need some stuff to teach kids that are interested in music, and that's when we asked for a wish list from all the schools to see if we could help out everybody and try to get something for each of the schools so that they have the instruments that they need to teach children the beginning of music.
So can you tell us a little bit more about how you knew David and why music and how it kind of turned into the Music Foundation?
I believe I met Dave in '89 and 1990. I was a sound man for a band before I started to play bass. So I had the musical background. Dave was playing guitar, wasn't in a band, just as a self-taught thing. And then some things happened and we said, hey, we should start a band together. So we started a band with some other guys that we hung around with from the neighborhood and started just practicing and played some parties and stuff because we were too young to play in clubs and bars, and played together ever since. Besides Dave and myself, the one drummer that we did play with for a majority of the time were the only three guys that stayed together as the core of the band. Other guys came and went because of lost interest, so we played at the 4th of July fireworks at Kennedy Park, which was probably the biggest thing that we ever did as a band. And then we played at the little hole in the wall clubs, and it wasn't really about the money, it was about the fun of playing music and playing in front of people. We didn't really care about the money because we weren't gonna become rich playing. So we just took whatever we could get, played at, Fall River places, Swansea, Westport, Taunton, wherever we could do. And then, once he got sick, it kind of put a damper on things because he couldn't come to practices a lot. And so we just kind of kept the band going, hoping that he would recuperate and come back, and that never happened.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you kept his name alive, and this is something that he wanted, right?
Well, Dave was wasn't in a music program in the school, but was a musician. Like myself, I didn't go to the music program. I took lessons for a short period of time and then just learned as we went along. So we thought, hey, a lot of us that are friends are musicians. We know a lot of musicians. Know how much money we spent to buy the instruments and stuff that we need to play. What about those kids out there that are in the same spot where we were when we were teenagers? And what about the school? What if they don't have the instrument they need to teach a kid that wants to play drums or piano or saxophone or any of the instruments? And so we thought, well, let's just do this in his name and donate whatever we can afford based on what we raise to the schools.
So you said you started this back in 2009, 2010, right?
Right.
And this is kind of going into your 7th year.
This will be the 7th year.
Tell us a little bit about like that 7-year run. How many people did you start off with on the bike run, and literally how many people are you up to now?
I think the first year, I've got to say, we probably had somewhere in the vicinity of about 100 people. That was people that rode motorcycles to go on the run, but also you don't need a motorcycle to come to this event. It's a family-oriented thing, so people came by car. We didn't keep track of how many tickets we sold because we were really unorganized the first time. We had an idea, and then over the years, when we became the nonprofit, we started keeping track of things, and so we went to maybe 150, 200 people, and one year, which was really good weather, I think we were somewhere in the vicinity of 300 people.
Wow.
So it depends on the weather, on whether people want to go out or not. We do it rain or shine, excuse me, so if it rains, we cut short the bike run, but we still have the rest of the event.
So we have Ethan here. So over the past year, you said obviously you're donating to students and giving scholarships. So you have that link to the student body. So how did you meet Ethan, and how did that all start?
Well, Ethan's aunt, Dolores, is friends with my wife. I also know Dolores. And she's always kind of helped us when we have our bike run. She'll come and volunteer that day and do the registration, hand out t-shirts. And this year we had someone who resigned from the board because it was just a lot of work. No one gets paid to do this. It's all volunteer time. So they said, hey, I think I've had it. We wanted to help out as much as I could, which opened up a spot. Not that we couldn't add more people. And since Dolores has helped us out when the Music Town Parade and our bike run, we asked her if she wanted to become part of the board.
So for people who don't know who the Dolores you're talking about, we're going to kind of highlight her in this.
Okay.
But it's Dolores Berg, our town clerk.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
And then, so I think it was one of the first meetings that she came to was when we talked about we need to get in contact with the school and see if we could get some students involved with us that could be like a sort of a subcommittee to get our information into the school and let students and people that we can't reach because we don't go to school every day, the information about our bike run and what we try or what we've been trying to do. And one day she
He's a perfect
texted me and
match.
said, Ethan is gonna
And
join the board.
Ethan's very involved from what I know, and I've seen him perform in several groups. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in the music program at the high school.
Well,
You're a
I'm
freshman, right?
Yes, I'm a freshman at Somerset Berkeley Regional High School. I've always really liked music, and so going to the high school, it really broadened my horizons when it comes to music. I'm part of the concert choir, chorale, show choir, and now the drama department. And I do as much as I can to help out, and since I have such a big passion for music, it's something that I love to do, and I love to do it.
Don't you DJ too?
I'm also a DJ. I basically do a lot.
Oh, I know we talk about it a lot. Getting involved in the community and doing kind of volunteering work. It's kind of a refreshing feeling for yourself as well. I mean, you're helping other people that are probably a little less fortunate as far as buying these instruments. And it kind of gives you a warm feeling. I mean, is that what kind of drew you into this program, into the foundation?
I like to help. So if the feeling that music gives me, I want to give that to everybody else. And so by helping the schools and our community, it brings music into everybody's lives, but it also helps the future of our town with people who want to go into a career of music and things like that.
In the school, and the town known for being a music town, so I think it's just tremendous. And you and David weren't involved in the school system necessarily, but you're still giving so much to the community regardless of being part of the school system. So, and then now with Ethan and everyone else that's involved, I think, I can't even imagine any of our lives without music. So like you said, so.
It's the language that everybody speaks.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's got to feel good, Mike, when you have a younger generation, getting involved into an organization that you've been part of for a while, a friend going back, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
It's got to kind of always be nice to see some of the younger generation coming in, getting involved.
Well,
It's almost kind of like your message is getting through.
yes, because and I'll speak on behalf of everybody on the board, because it's not just about me. We have
Mm-hmm.
12 other people that
Correct.
do on this board that help organize this bike run. Is the gratification, I guess, or the sense of hey, we did that, is the day that we present all those instruments to those kids and see them smiling ear to ear. Because they're getting all these brand new instruments to the school, and also the two $1,000 donations that we do. It gives you a feeling like, I never thought I would be doing this.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
You ever asked me if I ever thought?
Yeah.
I never thought I would be doing this. And so to see, what he's saying, to see those kids, that it's like Christmas morning to them. They can't wait to get to the school to play that.
That's a major sense of purpose, and you're really directly changing people's lives.
We've even got a message from, I don't remember the name. It was a parent that put a message on our Facebook page saying that her son was using one of the saxophones that we bought at a bunch of performances that he was doing with part of the school, and would have never had that opportunity if it wasn't for that saxophone that we did, that we donated.
Yeah, and you think about, you listen to all of the, the fees for sports and the fees for music and the threats
It's
of closing
not
down
cheap.
and stuff. It is not a cheap sport. So it is kind of, very rewarding and helpful, for parents as well. When foundations like yours, kind of get involved and donate. I mean, it helps, I think, everyone. Especially those children that want to play but just don't have the financial resources to afford it and buy the insurance and play, participate. Throw us some numbers out there. Overall, 7 years. You
I
guys
gotta
have
say,
been pretty fortunate to donate a lot of money.
Yes. Year to date, I gotta say, we are in instruments that we've donated to the schools, all the schools. is in the excess of $43,000. Those are all brand new instruments that we purchased from their wish list, and that also includes every year doing the two $1,000 donations. We also have people that come up to us and, hey, I have this flute that my kid used to play, they don't want to play it anymore, can I give it to you, can you donate it to the school? We take donations. We've had guitars, flutes, violins. If they're in rough shape, we get them refurbished, and then we donate them to the school along with all the other stuff.
So you guys are donating directly to the schools and letting them distribute to the people in need rather than going right to the parents that may be requesting some of these items?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the bike run. I mean, it's coming up in, another 3 weeks?
June 25th. It's at the Somerset Progressive Club. The bike run leaves from there and returns there. For $20 per person, you'll get a t-shirt and food. There'll be 4 bands performing. We'll also have raffle stuff that's, people go out and get raffle donations, gift certificates from restaurants, liquor baskets from Somerset Liquors, oil changes from bike shops, just a ton of stuff, too much to name. And we there from 9 in the morning till 6 at night. There's a tent set up in the back, so it's an indoor-outdoor thing. People can sit outside, listen to the music, go in, put their money in whatever raffle stuff they want to win, and all that money that we raise will probably help us purchase what we need to next year. We're basically running what we've raised from last year is what we have for our budget for what we can do for this year.
Yep. So what you're doing is 1 year for the next.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty
Right.
self-sustaining.
I mean, there's a startup cost. We have to buy T-shirts. We have to buy the food, and some other costs to run the bike run. But all the money that isn't used for something that we need goes to the schools.
So for people who are looking to buy tickets, what's the best way that they can go about that?
Tickets are available. You can get them. You can get them at the Somerset Progressive Club if you know where that is. Tickets will be available the day of the run, so anyone can come and get a ticket that day. We turn no one away.
Me as well.
Also, my number is on the Facebook page on the cards that we hand out. So if somebody wanted to call me directly and say, hey, I need to get some tickets, I could meet them somewhere. All the board members have tickets. They can message me on Facebook and say, hey, can you put 2 tickets aside for me? But basically, if you don't know someone who's on the board or know someone, to go to the club, you can just come that day and buy a ticket. Some people buy tickets and don't even go. They just want to help the cause.
So the website basically said that registrations are between 9 and 11.
Yeah.
You guys tend to leave about 11:30.
Correct.
And then what's the area that you guys typically travel? I mean,
The bike run is, we try to keep it to about an hour or less because we try to keep on a time schedule for everything for when we get back. And so basically the ride would go through the local towns, through back roads of Swansea, Rehoboth, maybe Dighton, and Somerset, and so it's a 40-mile ride through back roads, through the local towns, and then returns to the Progressive Club.
and then once they get there, I'm sure that you guys have some entertainment, you have food.
Yes, usually we start off with a remembrance prayer for all the people that anybody lost. We try to put together a list of people who have lost some family, we've lost some friends. So we have someone who does a prayer and will read out all the names of those people. One of Dave's cousins, who is a singer, will sing the national anthem, and then we'll have the first band start playing. at which time the food is served. We have, my band will be playing. We have a
And what's the
band.
name of that band?
I'm gonna withhold that information.
Okay.
Our name right now is Argyle Road Band, and that's because where we spent most of our time was practicing at my house.
Okay.
And we thought that would be a perfect name. We have some new members in the band this year, and we decided that we were gonna change the name, soon to be
So to
revealed.
be determined.
So if you want to know the name of the band, you have to come to the bike room.
Okay, that's a great hook.
One thing that we have that's kind of unique this year is the Right Note in Swansea, who, it's a music place right on Route 6, right before Mr. Peepers. They're usually the ones that we bring our instruments that need to be refurbished. Well, they have a children, I guess for lack of a better word, rock band that's going to be playing this year.
Awesome.
They range in age, I think he said, from 8 years old to 11.
Wow.
And they're going to be performing at the bike run this year.
That's
'Cause we had an
awesome.
opening, so I went and talked to them, and they are called the Right Note Miners. That's the mine fund.
That's clever.
So now, Ethan, you're gonna have to bring in a band as well, and you guys are gonna have to have those animal
Thanks
bands.
for putting them on the spot.
DJ and sing.
I got a slot
just pull
open.
out my sheet music. And I'll get back to you on that.
So it's now people, we've had some other younger bands play from the with high school students play at the bike run, and it was, I'm going to say people my age, people in our 50s, I'll say, that were amazed that these kids were playing the kind of music that we grew up with, and like, why aren't they playing the stuff that's out now? They're playing the stuff that we like, that we grew up with. So I'm really curious to see what these young kids are going to play.
That's
Because he
awesome.
told me they are a rock band, so it should be
That's
really interesting.
Yeah.
Can I ask you two things? So you kind of touched on this earlier about reaching out and how does the donation process work? If someone wants to donate money or donate an instrument, how do they reach out to you? And then how do the requests come into you as well? And then how does Ethan communicate with the school? How does that work?
Okay, I'll answer the first part. We have a P.O. box, the David M. Moraes Music Foundation, P.O. Box 7003, Somerset, Mass. If someone wanted to make a donation, they could mail a check to the P.O. box. They could contact me. If they wanted to donate an instrument that's not used anymore, they could do the same. Contact any one of the board members. And most of the time it's word of mouth. Sometimes it'll be on Facebook, or sometimes they will be talking to someone who's involved and say, oh, I can't go, but I want to make a donation. And most of the time they mail a check to the P.O. box.
And
And
then
how about
Ethan,
that?
how do you?
Well, I'm basically sort of the inside voice. Since I'm part of the music department, I know I'm also the wish list basically. So I know what we need, and I know what we can do as the foundation to help even further than just the wish list and donating just the instruments.
So do the students come directly to you? And for people that are uncomfortable asking, how do they?
They don't necessarily come to me. I kind of go to them,
Okay.
and just by watching like any I wouldn't say lack of instruments, but the like I said, what they need. you
Yeah.
know.
But they could reach out to you if they wanted
Yes,
to.
they could definitely
Okay.
reach out to me if they really needed to.
Okay, great.
So Mike, with Ethan being the first, student on the board, do you guys see that, next year, years to come, there'll be an influx of more,
Good question.
kind of more involvement from the school department, more involvement from the younger generation, just to kind of throw out different ideas?
Yes. One of the reasons why we wanted to get students involved is not going to be around forever. We'd like to have someone carry this on. Some people thought we were a flash in the pan, and after a couple of years, it would be over, people would lose interest, and we're going on our 7th year. So we wanted to try to get students involved, one, to get the informations into the schools, but also groom them to take over, which I already know he's vying for my position. And so, you know, if he had some kids that came to him and say, hey, I want to help out, you know, that would be the start of the group to take over when it becomes too much for us.
And it kind of helps you get that message out to that younger generation, right? Because, you know...
Because, I mean, I'm in my 50s. I admit that. There's, you know, most of us we're all middle-aged. I don't want to get any of the women mad. But, you know, we all work full-time jobs. We do this on our own time. We don't get paid to do this. And so, to at some point, I may not be able to do this anymore. I'll do this until my last breath. That's what I vowed to do.
And this foundation and board is kind of like a family.
Yes. We have Dave's mother.
Group.
Dave's mother is on the board. Her sister, which is Dave's aunt. My wife, my sister are on the board. Dave's cousin's wife is on the board. She's the vice president. And some friends of ours that never knew Dave, but knew us, and said, boy, that's a good thing you guys do. I want to become part of that. I want to help out.
Yeah,
and
That's great.
so it's a family. I've known, you know, like I call Dave's mother Mom because I've known her so long, and you know, it's just
That's so
one
great.
of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of things you had brought up earlier. I mean, you know, we talk about collaboration all the time, and you guys have kind of collaborated with the school department very well, but you also kind of collaborate, you know, as well with the Progressive Club, right? It's kind of a hand-in-hand
Yes.
relationship.
Over the last few years, I'm always in contact with Ira Schaefer
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Dave Marshall. Ira's usually the person. I'll send him an email and say, hey, can you get a wish list from the schools and get it to me so we can get an idea of what they need, see what we can do, look at the list and see what we can afford to, you know, get from our budget that we can work with. And the Somerset Progressive Club, which I'm a member of, they allow us to have or use their facility for our bike run.
Yeah.
And they'll come out and support ours, and just like they just had their bike run for a family with a sick child, we go and support theirs.
That's great.
Great. I mean, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you
Thank you.
have great weather and raise a lot more money.
Same
So-
here. We're looking forward to it.
Thank
June 25th?
25th.
June 25th.
Great. Thank you all for watching. We need to come together as a town and act as one. We need to collaborate and to move forward. We need to help keep each other informed so that we can make educated decisions for our town. Please reach out to us if you have any ideas or guests for the show. We would love to hear from you. Please visit our website, somersetroundtable.com, or email us at info@somersetroundtable.com. Thank you.